Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more college basketball news and I'm finally covering the men's basketball games. Um, in a discussion that I was thinking about over the last week or so, I haven't heard anyone else discuss this discussion, of course, but I wanted to embrace it to actually bring some light to it because college basketball is probably one of the most difficult coaching jobs you can have because there's been a lot of coaches with great amount of talent, but not able to capture the national championship at consistent rates. Unless you want to go back to UCLA days when they had Kareem. Other than that, there's not a lot of repeat champions in college basketball, for the lack of better words. And with the tourney coming up, had me thinking about one of the most accomplished coaches as far as getting players drafted, being able to recruit so many different players, being able to just be in the conversation for winning the national championship for so many years at so many different locales, for example. I mean, this guy coached at Memphis and he coached at Kentucky. And then now, of course, he's at Arkansas, coached at UMass back in the day when he coached Marcus Camby. So he's been pretty much all over the map throughout the country. But he has one national championship with all the talent that he has. And it's just mind blowing of how much talent he has, especially now with Darius Acuff and what he's able to do. He just put up 30 and 11 the other day. I'm not sure when this video will release, but from the time that you hear it, it'll have been the past weekend. He just put up 30 points and 11 assists in the SEC, conference championship game. So, and for everything that it's worth, Bam Adebayo put up 83 points just a week ago. And of course, he was coached by Kentucky as well. So I thought about John Calipari's resume and how much talent he had or has now. And it's just mind blowing that he only has one national championship. And of course, that was at Kentucky when he had Anthony Davis, and that was a phenomenal team. They got a close win over the Kansas Jayhawks back in, I want to say 2012. But just give you a few names that Calipari had coached on his resume. So first, of course, he had Derrick Rose at Memphis, the youngest NBA MVP of all time at the time when he did it. One of the best guards to ever do it before the injury that he had. He had John Wall at Kentucky. He was very injury plagued in the league, but he was very phenomenal. One of the fastest NBA players that you've ever seen. And before his injury, he was on a very high trajectory, similar to what Derrick Rose was. DeMarcus Cousins he had at Kentucky as well, one of the biggest talented big man ever. He was injury plagued after he tore his Achilles, and then he went to Golden State and went to other couple places, and it didn't work out. He never was able to recover. Now that I think about it, Calipari has a lot of players that's been injury plagued throughout the league, and it's a weird connection there when I was doing this list. And of course, Anthony Davis, like I talked about before, won the only national championship with him. One of the best performers in the NCAA tournament final game, championship game, I should say. He's in conversation for one of the greatest forwards of all time, Anthony Davis. But unfortunately, he's had a lot of knick-knack injuries, a lot of injuries that kept him out. So a lot of his scoring and his ability is limited because of those injuries. He had Julius Randle, who was a solid NBA player. He had him at Kentucky. Um, he had Karl Anthony Towns at Kentucky, he's considered the biggest big man shooter of all time. He won a 3-point shootout from the center position at 7 foot. So he was very talented, very versatile, can score from a myriad of ways. He's had Devin Booker, who's a prolific scorer in the league, very solid. He scored 70 points in a game before. Jamal Murray, who is another great point guard, won a championship with the Denver Nuggets alongside Nikola Jokic. We know what Jamal Murray is. I believe his career high is like 55. De'Aaron Fox, another fast point guard, solid guard. Bam Adebayo, as I talked about before, scored 83 points just last week. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, which is another huge name he had at Kentucky, who's a champion, won the MVP last year, won Finals MVP, uh, $200+ million contract that he has. Um, so, and Tyrese Maxey, another one, a leader of that Philadelphia team that's ascending and keep reaching new heights, and just a phenomenal player. So when you think of all of these players, it took me probably 3 minutes to get through all these players, and he had all this talent, but he only has one national championship. So all of those players, or players that he's coached throughout his tenure, he has 41 first round picks, which 27 of them are lottery picks. So more than over half are lottery picks, which mean they were drafted within the first 15 selections in the first round of that draft. And he has all of those players on his roster. So the question comes, is he's overrated as a coach? Because he's had stacked teams with generational talent, not just great talent or phenomenal talent, generational talent. Derrick Rose, that was a generational talent. Uh, Anthony Davis, generational. Shea, well, still lots to see, but he's generational. So he's had all of these different players that are generational talents, but he's only been able to capture one national championship, um, which, a lot of people think he's probably should have won more, because when you look back at his record, that '08 team with Derrick Rose. Now, it wasn't his fault that Derrick Rose missed the free throws and that Mario Chalmers hit this phenomenal game clutching shot, and all these things happen. But and with the era of one and dones, I don't think you can fully blame John Calipari for only having one championship, because if he can keep these guys, for 3 years or even 4 years like they do in women's basketball, I'm pretty sure he would have been able to get more championships, because he would have the buy-in, the camaraderie from these players. But when you have these players only committed for 1 year pretty much and then they're gone, you don't have a lot of buy-in. You don't have a lot of players that really care about winning the championship. They just want to pretty much get their stats and then just look good so they can get drafted high. And that should be the ultimate goal, to get drafted and not to be a legend in college basketball. But, we've seen great teams that should have won, like that Duke team with Zion and RJ Barrett and all those great players. I thought for sure there would be a shoe in, but when I after they lost, I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, these players really just, it's impossible for them to win, because they're going against teams that have players for 2 and 3 years that have that chemistry with the team and have more buy-in with the coach and the program, and who are probably, not high draft picks or even consider being draft picks. They're just trying to win and have great moments. While meanwhile, you have these one and done teams like the Calipari teams, the Duke teams, the North Carolina teams. All of these big programs have these players that are just there for 1 year and they're out of there 2 years at most. Because it's a knock when they stay longer than 1 year, because these NBA teams are 18 and 19-year-old players, so they can develop them earlier. So that is the fight that John Calipari must have, is just being able to keep turning over every year, keep recruiting these big names. And especially at Arkansas now, you think he wouldn't be able to get the big names, but a name like Calipari brings the players out because of his resume and who he's coached and who he has put in the league. Because that 2014 team had so much talent that, man, we thought for sure that they would be, a shoe in for the national championship. They didn't even make it to the championship game, but they had so much talent. They had two five-man units that they would sub in at a time. And that team, they had Carl Anthony Towns, they had the Harrison twins, Tyler Eulis, Devin Booker, Trey Lyles, Willie Cauley-Stein. They had a lot of great talent on that team, a lot of tall players as well, because Cauley-Steins, Carl Anthony Towns, these guys were both like 7 foot, and I think Trey Lyles was around 6'10". So they had a lot of great talent and size, pause, as well. But I don't think you can fully blame Calipari for being, falling short so much because of the lack of because of the turnovers rate of the players. Because when you look at even at a coach like Bill Self, he's only won what maybe 3 national championships in 20+ years, and all the great talent he had as well. Because he had a Joel Embiid, a Andrew Wiggins. He's had even Darren Peterson now, which I don't think they'll win this year. They've had great talent, but he's only been able to get, a few championships, and it's been scattered out through every like 15 years. It's very difficult to win one in national and NCAA history. Um, it's, unless, like I said before, unless you're Kareem back in the what was that, the 60s or 70s when he won it. It's very difficult to do. So I don't think he's overrated. I think the system is just flawed to where players don't stay long enough and you don't have the chemistry with the team. So it's a luck of the draw. And it's about being healthy as well. A lot of these players, they hold back for as far as injuries, so they don't want to play through knick-knack injuries. Unless like the player he has now, Darius Acuff, he's built different. And I have another segment about him that'll be coming out about how tough he is and greatness and comparisons that they're making to him right now. So tell me your thoughts about John Calipari. Until next time, I'll see you next time.